Oi, you know what time it is? You're tuned in listening to That Aussie Metal Guy. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his content when it drops. And remember, stay brutal, you mad dogs. Roof!
G'day everyone, it's Jai, that Aussie Metal Guy here with Crannk'd.com and the Crannk'd Up podcast today. Wherever you are in the world, I'm joined by Buzzy, guitarist, vocalist, and founding force behind the blackened death thrash wrecking machine from Little Rock, Arkansas. I didn't even fucking ruin that as an Aussie. Pantheon, with brutal releases like Age of Wolves, which it did drop in 2020, Empire and Ruin 2023, where I found you guys, and their crushing new single, Dead Reckoning. These guys are flying the flag high for metal in Arkansas and death metal in general. Let's get into it, Buzzy. Thanks for joining me, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude.
Absolute bloody pleasure, man. As I was saying, I heard of you guys back around the Empire and Ruin stuff there, man, which was an absolutely ripping day, man, album. But can you take me back a little bit before to the early days there? Kind of how did Pantheon first come together?
Yeah, I played in a band called Tangled in Ruin with this guy named Donnie, and he invited me to come jam with him and BJ from Fallen Empire. I was like, whoa, man, because I used to listen to Fallen Empire a lot, and it was an honor to go play with him. And we clicked really good playing together, and so we joined together and we made our first album, Age of Wolves, and yeah, we went along pretty good for a little while. And we made the second album. So now we're working on our third one.
Definitely working on your third one. So what was that like? What were the key motivations behind forming this project? Was there a certain sound or vision you were chasing? Or tell me a little bit about that side of it.
Yeah, we wanted to do something that was had death metal songs and black metal songs together, because not many bands do that. You know, they have one style and they stick to it. So. And, you know, we had a lot of people telling us, yeah, we dig how you all mix styles in your music. Some even just regular thrash and black metal and death metal all squished together with different songs by each genre, you know. Try to do something different.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about your local scene, Little Rock and the Arkansas area, because I know every band starts like in their local area, and that kind of really helps shape an identity, getting that kind of support behind you. So tell me a little bit about the scene and what it's like over there for you guys.
Oh, that's really good, man. I've been going up and seeing shows in Little Rock since the early '90s up at Vino's, and we got a really good local scene down there. It hangs out at Vino's, and we do some shows at the hall and the Rev Room down there. A lot of cool bands play down there, like Terminal Nation and and Wake and Us and Severe Head Wound and Lore even. There's some pretty big bands from down here. I used to go see Living Sacrifice back in the early '90s. They were like a Christian death metal band down here. They're still together and they still rock, man.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a great scene down here.
Yeah, I definitely know a couple of guys that actually dig that band, Joel Valley, and shout out to him that would dig that Christian death metal band. Tell me a little bit about what bands or artists kind of made you want to pick up the guitar and scream your lungs out, dude. Kind of.
Yeah, the first death metal bands I really got into were like Cannibal Corpse. First time I heard the bleeding, I was just like hooked on it. I read those lyric sheets to all those Cannibal Corpse albums. I'm really into gore and like cheesy, 80s horror movies and stuff like that. And, it's just like horror music. That's all it is. And I really love it. And it's just bands pushing the envelope was always my thing. And who was going to go the farthest and the fastest drums and I just was hooked on it, and I started listening to black metal, just metalcore and all of it together, and just all these obscure bands. I just like to, just dig up.
Yeah, that's it. And you are kind of touching the nail on the head there. A couple of times you do blend that death metal, that black and thrash, and you just kind of have real groove and melodic elements, which I noticed creeped right into within the Empire and Ruin there off of that Blood the Bible Bleeds. Definitely felt those melodic death influences really, really creeping into that there. So how do you balance all those elements when writing, or do you just kind of lay it out there and see if it feels right, it feels right?
Yeah. I I'll know beforehand. Am I going to write a black metal song or am I going to write a death metal song? That way I'll know kind of what kind of riffs to come up with. Sometimes I'll even blend like a black metal and a death metal, all together in one song. Like we have a new song called Six Demons Within. It's very much kind of like a cross between Cannibal Corpse and Cradle of Filth, which is pretty much my favorite band. So.
Dude, yeah, Cradle of Filth were unreal, dude. How good was that last album? I'm lucky enough I've got to interview both those bloody bands, and it was pretty cool. I got to have a chat with Paul from Cannibal, and I'd interviewed the three female vocalists of Cradle of Filth. Dude, bloody unreal bands, eh?
Yeah, that is cool, man. Dude, the fuck out of them.
And they're definitely unreal at building atmosphere, and then with Cannibal Corpse and that as well. So it does seem like some really good influences. But how important is atmosphere in your music versus sheer heaviness?
It's pretty important to me, man. I like it to have all kinds of elements to it. And we like to use the horror movie clips in there too.
Yeah, dude.
Like the Wolf Creek one.
Yeah, man. I had that mentioned, man. The head on a stick there, dude. And I'm sensing some Aussie themes going on, dude, because I'm looking at that cover for that single for Dead Reckoning as well, man. And I'm getting some Mad Max-esque vibes there with that truck and the armor and the guns up the top there, man.
Yeah, that was in a movie called Land of the Dead.
Yeah, dude, that's a bloody good movie, isn't it, dude?
Yeah, that was the name of that vehicle. It was called Dead Reckoning. So they dug up the pictures.
One of my favorite horror movies as well would have to be the Dawn of the Dead. Is it the George A. Romero, the black and white? I remember seeing that, dude, as a young teenager, and I was just hooked. It's been zombies ever since for me, as I can see the Ash vs. the Evil Dead there as well. Like, zombies are just absolutely massive with me too.
Yeah, I love that shit.
Yeah, man. So, your debut album, Age of Wolves, what was it like making that? You know, what did that album represent for Pantheon sound at the time?
I don't know. It was us coming together and trying to make a good album with black metal and death metal influences. And, like I said, we put a little bit of movie clips in there too. And it was a good time. And it was fun getting back in the studio, because I'd been in the studio a couple of times with another band, which played some of these songs that we play, actually. But we didn't really get them on a label or anything, so it's nice to get them out there now.
Yeah, that's
it. On a pretty old song.
It's a killer song. So the Empire and Ruin kind of, another step up and forward in songwriting and production as well. What were some of the key goals you had going into that album?
Try to top the last one a little bit.
Yep.
And have some more catchier stuff, and put more of the movie clips in there. And it was just trying to top the last album like we're trying to do now.
Yeah. How do you feel the band has grown between those two records, both musically and personally, and then coming into this third album?
I think we've grown quite a bit, man. We've been doing a lot of shows out of state and a lot of traveling, and brings the metal out in you. You can see a lot of other bands and absorbing all their stuff too, and just growing as musicians. Learning how to write more stuff. And BJ's starting to write more, and just trying to expand and grow.
Yeah, keep pushing it out there. So your latest single, Dead Reckoning, does kind of hit hard, killer track to kind of hit out of the gates off of the first album. Tell me a little bit about that story behind this track and kind of what inspired it. Well, obviously.
Yeah, I wrote those riffs many years ago, man. And like I said, I played it with my last band, Tangled in Ruin. It was called Dead Reckoning, but I decided to bring it back this time, and maybe we could improve it. And I think it sounds 100 times better than it did before. It's based on the old movie Return of the Living Dead, which was the first horror movie I was ever brave enough to watch as a kid. And I pretty much laughed through the whole thing, and I was like, man, I'll start watching more horror movies.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So horror movies are definitely a big influence for you, horror and death metal and black metal, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to write about. I don't really write from my own point of view because it would be pretty boring. So I kind of pick movies and weird subjects to write about,
Yeah.
serial killers, things like that.
So, so that's probably corner and how you approach the songwriting on this album as well. Tell me a little bit about how you are approaching the songwriting compared to the other albums.
Uh, it's not much different, man. I always just pick up my guitar and start riffing, and I start blurting out words and writing them down. I usually write the music first and just sit and play the riffs over and over again. And I'll just like sit and blurt out things, and I'll turn them into words and write them down. Remember how many syllables I can blurt it out to make it in time. And it just comes together like that for me. I don't know how BJ writes, but
So,
sometimes I'll have an idea about what I want to write about beforehand, but
yep.
the lyrics just come to me just right, off the bat. I don't even have to put too much thought in them.
Yeah, that's it, eh? So tell
No.
me a little bit about what you can reveal about the upcoming album. What do you got? What's the deal with it, man? When you're dropping it, let me know everything about it. What can you tell me so far?
Uh, I'm probably going to be around July, maybe August before we get back in the studio
Yep.
to finish all the songs. We got three ready right now. We're probably going to do about another five or six, maybe.
What are you aiming for?
And
Is this going to be obviously is a horror is a big theme for you guys as well, and something that does influence you a lot. But musically, what are you aiming for? More darker, more technical, heavier? What are you aiming for with this album? What? Yeah.
yeah, all that, man. Darker, heavier, more horror, catchiness. Some
Yep.
people listen to it and say, "Oh, well, dude." I mean, I have to listen to it 10 times to be able to comprehend it, and hear it and it's catchy right off the bat. They're going to want to hear it again no matter what. That's what I'm trying to do. It's what I always try to do when I write.
And I have noticed you got a few shows coming up as well. You got that Slam Dakota Death Fest, is it? July 11th and 12th. And what other shows you got on? What else we got planned besides getting this album out 2025 and getting the rest of this done and tours? What guys you got lined up?
Well, we got a Tampa Death Fest coming up in September this year. That's going to be wild. We were supposed to play there like a year or so ago, but we didn't make it there. We overslept in the hotel the night before.
Whoops.
Yeah, we would have had to get up like real early, and we got back real late from the last show, and none of us got up in time. But we're going to make it there this time. I know it. We're going back to Wisconsin again for the Zy Murder Fest from the Zymergy brewery they have up there. They have a death metal festival up there. We played up there the last 3 years, up in August. But
Yep.
great. It's always fun down there.
Yeah, it is quite you got to tour a lot, but especially being underground band, getting your name out there and really pushing that out there. Do you prefer the road life or studio grind, man? Where do you feel Pantheon thrives the most?
I don't know, man. I, we like being out on the road. It's really cool, and we always make new fans and sell a lot of merch. It's amazing.
It is, isn't it? When you get out and sell that merch, dude, after the show, that's usually the go-to thing. Like those shows that you're mentioning, we had New Dead Metal Fest here in Adelaide, and it was unreal, man. You go there to this 12-hour festival, and you fucking see these bands, and you just be blown away by what's happening in your fucking backyard and that. Then you go hit those merch stands, and you end up with about six different shirts and CDs, and then you're chatting to the bands behind the merch stand as well. And you're going back home, and you're like, I can check these guys out. And you're telling five or six of your mates, or whenever they get in your car, they've got to put up with it as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like
uh,
to buy that merch up there.
oh, dude, it is so bloody important to get out there and buy that bloody merch and really support the scene, man. So, where's the best place people can head over and support you guys? You've got Bandcamp. Anywhere else we should be
Yeah.
checking out?
I think it's just Bandcamp right now where we're selling online merch right now.
Yep.
But we got quite a few designs on there, though.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
We get new artwork every day. It's like,
Yeah, dude. There's some killer artwork up there. Who's doing that for you guys?
Different people.
Yep.
Slum Marta.
Yep.
This one artist, he does a lot of it. But he got a few different people he's gone to throughout the years. But he finds some pretty good art, man. We got one for one of our songs called "Knife Goes In, Guts Spill Out."
Yeah.
It's a really cool artwork for that one. I can't wait for that single to drop and to get that artwork out.
Yeah, damn
Some old
straight.
Cannibal Corpse art.
Fuck yeah, dude. Death Growls, Black Metal Shrieks. What's your weapon of choice?
Me, I usually do the death growls.
Yep.
Because BJ, he does the black metal because he was in that old band Fallen Empire, and he does some really good. He screams a lot like Danny Filth, you know.
Yeah,
I always
dude.
love vocals like that too. So, but I'm better at the death growls, I think.
Damn straight. If you could tour with any death metal band, past or present, who'd be your dream pick, mate?
Probably Cannibal Corpse, man.
I knew that one
guys before. There's some really nice guys.
They are, aren't they? Old school, modern production. Which side are you on, mate?
I like old school. But,
Circle pit or wall of death, and I'm going to chuck in a third option: standing in the back with your arms crossed. What gets the adrenaline pumping more for you, mate?
Well, when I was younger, it was circle pit, and now it's
Yeah.
standing in the back with my arms crossed.
Me too, dude. That gets my adrenaline pumping just fine now. I'm in my 40s.
Because now I'm in the band.
Yeah, dude. If Pantheon had to cover one death metal classic, what song would it be for you?
You mean one of our songs?
What song? If you had to cover one death metal track, like classic, anything you could cover, man, for you guys, what would you cover? Pantheon.
I don't know, probably something Cannibal Corpse, maybe.
Yeah, dude.
I come blood.
Perfect date song as well to leave it on, everybody. Buzzy, mate, thank you so much for joining us today, mate. It's been bloody awesome catching up and learn some more about Pantheon. Everyone watching and listening, be sure to check out the latest single, Dead Reckoning, and definitely dive onto their previous albums, Empire and Ruin and Age of Wolves. Pure, unrelenting Arkansas metal at its finest. I'll chuck in some links with this as well, so everybody go grab some merch. Follow them on the socials. Support the underground. Buzzy, last word, shout-outs, thank yous. Anything else you'd like to chuck in there, mate?
Oh, man, come see Pantheon live this summer. And check out our new album coming up. It's going to be fucking brutal.
Oi, you're tuned in to That Aussie Metal Guy, so make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his sick content. And remember, stay brutal, you legend.